welcome to Genesis Volatility's lesson on the original yield farming, using options to write covered calls. Today we're going to explore what are covered calls and why are they considered a low-risk strategy to generate passive yield on an existing asset portfolio. Bitcoin and Ethereum and cryptos in general are very lucrative for covered call strategies. This is because the implied volatility on crypto assets is extremely high, which makes options very expensive. As an option seller using the covered call strategy, this is to your benefit. The covered call strategy will earn a passive yield by selling a call against an existing asset base. This call sale transaction will earn the seller the premium in exchange for being called out of their position if the position rallies. Something to keep in mind when doing the covered call strategy is that everything is done on a non-levered basis. You have enough assets in your portfolio to make good on the calls that you sold. Meaning, if you're selling 2 Bitcoin worth of calls, you have at least 2 Bitcoin in your portfolio to make good on those calls. The premium that you receive from selling those calls can be viewed as yield against the 2 Bitcoin that you hold in your portfolio. If Bitcoin rallies all the way up to your short call strike, you get called out of that position and everything is done. If, on the other hand, Bitcoin sits here and your call strike is far away from the money, over time, your short call is going to decay and eventually expire worthless. And you'll have just your original Bitcoin that you're sitting on, and you can either sell the Bitcoin, write another call against that Bitcoin, or transfer that Bitcoin away. Let's explore some of the different covered call yield terminology and explore different methods of calculations. The first thing to keep in mind when walking through different covered call yield calculations is that we're assuming that the portfolio base includes the premium from the short covered call. Meaning, if we're selling enough calls to generate a liability of 1 Bitcoin, and the calls return a premium of 0.1 Bitcoin, or 1/10 of a Bitcoin, we really only need 1/9 of a Bitcoin, or 0.9 Bitcoin, plus that 1/10 to make good on the 1 Bitcoin liability. So therefore, our initial capital base is actually 0.9, not 1 Bitcoin. Let's assume that the cost of Bitcoin today is $37,500 and that we sell a $40,000 call to earn $2,500 of premium. Now, the absolute return is going to be the $35,000 worth of Bitcoin, which is the Bitcoin price minus the premium that we collected. That will be our capital base, and our yield will be $2,500. That will be the premium we received from selling the call. So the absolute return is going to be $2,500 divided by $35,000, which is about 7%. Further, we can annualize this return. Let's say that the call that we sold expires in 2 months. This means over the course of a year, we could replicate this strategy 6 more times. So that 7% return annualized is going to be 7% times 6, because we could do it 6 more times, which equals 42% annualized return. The next type of return is called a call-out return. The call-out return measures the yield or the total return that we earn from collecting the premium and having our Bitcoin rally all the way up to the short strike. This is the price at which we'll get called out from our Bitcoin. So in this example, we sold a call at $40,000. We collected $2,500 worth of premium, and today Bitcoin is worth $37,500. $37,500 minus $2,500 of premium means that we pony up $35,000 of capital in order to get 1 whole Bitcoin. As Bitcoin rallies, we get past our short strike, and at expiration, we got called out at $40,000. So the return calculation here is we have $40,000 terminal value divided by $35,000 initial value. This return is about 14.2%. We can again apply the annualization factor, as we did in the past example, to get an annualized return. In this case, 14.2% times 6 is about 85%. Here are some final points. Shorter dated options are going to provide a higher annualized yield. This is for two reasons. The first reason is that there's less time until expiration, so you can repeat that strategy more times throughout the year. But there's a second element, and the second element is really a risk-reward trade-off. You're going to collect less premium upfront by selling a shorter dated option, which means you have to put up more initial capital to make good on your covered call. There's more risk to putting up more initial capital. So that is going to be a classic risk-reward trade-off. You're going to have a higher annualized yield, but you will also have more risk up front. Another trade-off that you're going to encounter as you're hunting for yield is that there's a trade-off between call-out yield and passive yield. When you're selling far out of the money options, you're going to collect less premium, but you'll have a higher best-case scenario call-out yield. If you're selling close to the money options, you're going to cap away a lot of your potential price appreciation gains, but you'll collect a larger premium or a larger passive yield for that trade-off. I hope you found this video helpful, and remember, find edge, capture alpha, and slang size.